The next definition shown is a scarcity definition, and they are given by Lionel Robbins. The definition says economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. So what Robbins is talking about here, that this is a science. He defines economics as a science which is studying the human behavior as a relationship. It is studying human behavior as a relationship between two things. One is the resources which are scarce, and the other thing is that these scarce resources have alternative uses. The first feature of this definition is unlimited ends. Now, ends here are referring to human wants. He means to say that the human wants are unlimited. They start from the very beginning the child is born, and they end when the person goes to, when the person breathes last, right? So they are unlimited. They can never be stopped. Since wants are unlimited, we have to make a choice between the more important and less important wants. So because, and obviously priorities have to be laid down among various wants. It is because of differences in the intensity of different wants that people are able to make a choice between different wants. The second feature of this definition is scarce means. Just now when we studied definition, we say it's a relationship. It is studying the human behavior in relation to two things, that is scarce means and alternative use. No, the resources are scarce. They are not scarce absolutely, but they are relatively scarce. They are scarce in relation to the goods and services which are demanded by the consumers, right? So that means, say example, labor is limited by the size of the population, land is limited by the area of the country, and so on, right? So in view of the scarce means, only a limited quantity of goods can be produced. There comes the relative scarcity of goods and services in relation to demand of these goods services. Hence, we have to decide which of the wants can be fulfilled and which ones should be left unfulfilled for the time being. This is what you mean by scarce means. Now we said that the resources can have alternative uses of means. So the third fact which Robbins' definition emphasizes is that resources can be put to alternative uses, right? For example, a piece of land can be used for producing wheat, vegetables, etc. Likewise, a labor can be used on the fields or in the factories, right? But what happens when we are using these resources alternatively? This usage is preventing the use of that particular factor of production in some other usage, right? And so in this case, the problem of allocation of resources in the production of different commodities would arise, that how to use the resources everywhere, right? So what happens, that we would not arise, this problem will not arise in case the resources were of a specific use, that is, one land can only be used for the production of wheat, then this problem would not have arisen. But because these resources have alternative uses, so these problems are arising. So for example, as the film's stars, if the film's film stars are adept in acting, they would prefer to act in films only, but they are acting in ads also, others also, right? So this is the problem, because of these resources have they have alternative uses, they have various uses. The next feature comes is the choice. Because the resources have alternative uses, we have to make a choice where to use them first. The scarce resources are also capable of alternative uses, and the human wants that are endless, people have to make a choice in allocating these resources for producing different commodities on the basis of their relative importance. That is, we have to chalk out our priorities and see which demand is more important, which requirement is more important to the other, right? And then next is economics as a science. According to Robbins, economics is a science. It provides a systematic knowledge with regard to human efforts in solving economic problem. These specific economic problems arising out of scarce means and unlimited wants. So economic formulates various economic laws which help in solving economic problem. These are very features of the definition of scarcity. Now there are goodness, or you can say merits of such definition. The first merit of this definition is that it gives a logical explanation of economic problem. Economic problem is that scarcity prevails in the economy, relative scarcity prevails in the economy. What solution Robbins is giving? He says that according to Robbins' definition, economic problem arises due to scarcity of means in relation to their demand. That is, he is getting out a logical explanation of economic problem. What is the economic problem? Economic problem is the problem of scarcity. And why is it coming? Because this scarcity is relative to the demand that is coming forward by the consumers. The second merit of this definition is this problem is universal in nature. That is, the universal nature of the subject, in the sense that scarcity of means in relation to end, that is wants, is a universal problem everywhere and at all times. Rich as well as poor, traditional as well as modern economies face the problem of choice. So scarcity definition of economics is a much applicable definition given by Robbins, right? The next is human science. Now again we have studied about it, that there is social science and there is human science. Human science is a broader perspective and social science is a narrower perspective. Social science is only studying people who are member of the society, whereas human science is studying those also who are living in isolation. But the Robbins definition, it is studying this economics as a human science. Now he points out that economics is a human science and not merely a social science, because the problem of choice and resource allocation is faced by an individual, whether that individual is living in a society or he is living in isolation, right? The next is, this definition is giving a wider view of economic activity. Economic activity till now we have studied, it is only concerned with income earning and income spending, but here he says that it is related to all economic activities, whether they relate to the production of tangible goods or services or produced. He's talking about not only tangible goods but also about services which relate to the problem of scarcity of means in relation to ends. And the last feature of this definition is it is a positive science. He says that economics is a positive science. And why he is saying this? Because it regards economics to be neutral between ends. According to Robbins, economics does not tell the individuals as to what ends should be achieved. Ends here again, the wants. Which want is to be chosen by an individual? What ends should be achieved and what ends should be sacrificed? It is not telling people about that. Economics enlightens the individuals, enabling them to make rational decisions, but the decisions have to be made by the individuals themselves. Do you understand? That is, economics is enabling people to decide which decision has to be, which want has to be satisfied and which want has not to be satisfied. But these decisions should be made by these individuals only. They should not be affected by any outer force. Then comes the criticism of these definitions. The first criticism is that it gives a narrow view of economics. He is criticized on the ground that it regards economics as a positive science. Just now we studied that positive science is telling it is neutral between ends. It is telling people, it is not telling people about what choice to be made and what. It is only telling that they have to make a choice and they have to make a choice on their own. Now they say that economics is not a positive science they say it's a normative science. There is general agreement among economists at present that economics is not a positive science but also a normative science. A normative science is concerned with what should be or what ought to be, whereas a positive science is only telling what is. So critics consider the scarcity definitions as narrow and restrictive in nature, right? The second criticism given by economists is the subject matter of economics is restricted. Now here they say that the subject matter has restricted by this definition by restricting it to the theory of resource allocation. That is, the resources are scarce and people have to make a choice, and for that the resources have to be distributed. That is the theory of only production and factor pricing. It is restricted to this only, right? And because it does not take account of many other important economic problems which are also part of the subject matter of economics these days, such as it does not focus on the important economic issues of economic instability, unemployment, income determination. All these problems, they are also a part of the economy throughout the world, but these problems are not being taken care by these definitions. Then next is, they say that it is a static definition. How this is a static definition? Because it is only talking about the scarcity of means. It is not talking about the increase in resources over time. The resources, they are increasing also along with the change of time. Along with the increase in demand, the resources are also increasing, but in relation to demand they are scarce. So we cannot say that the resources are not increasing. The resources are definitely increasing, but their shortage is relative in relation to the demand of goods and services. Then the next criticism is economics as a science. But they say that economics is not only a science, but it is in fact both a science and a art. Take scarcity definitions of economics has reduced economics into a pure science, a science that is concerned with formulation of economic laws only. But economics these days believes that economics is also concerned with the solution of economic problems, and that is why we study various theories in economics also. Economics these days are considered not only tool makers but are also known as tool users. Then this scarcity problem may not always arise. This economic problem may not always arise from scarcity, as we have said. Sometimes it may arise from abundance also, and for this example is given by the economist that during the Great Depression of 1930s, it was not the scarcity but abundance of goods, that is overproduction, which created an economic problem in various capitalist countries of the world. So what they say, that scarcity is not the problem always, but sometimes abundance can also be a problem. These many are merits and criticisms of welfare definition given by Leon and Robbins.